Well, Pien, I wish we were sitting here talking about basketball right now. Mm-hmm. And for those that maybe haven't followed along closely, let's start with the obvious. You're having to sit out this season. Talk us through, I guess, what happened at the time, and then how things have gone kind of since then. Because I know nobody wants to have an injury, but then sometimes there can be some kind of positives that eventually come out of it after the fact.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we were just practicing. It was just a normal practice day, and then I made like a wrong move, and I tore my ACL. And I could feel it, and I already knew it was my ACL right after. And we went to the doctor and everything, and the next day I heard that it was my ACL. And then I was like, okay, so what's next? Because like, obviously I had some plans for this season. Felt like I was ready, like I was practicing good. And so yeah, it was going to be different. I was going to be out for the whole year. I could have surgery like a week after, so that was really good. And then I just started with the rehab, but for my mental, it was very hard to understand that I was out for a whole year, because like I'm not used to having like major injuries. I never had that before, so yeah, that was difficult.
I guess you've seen teammates over the years have similar type injuries, if not the exact same injury. So was there anyone that you called up and said, this has happened and give me some advice?
Well, Emma from here, she's going through the same thing now, but she's just, it happened like 8 months ago for her. So she's already been through everything. So she really helped me, like motivate me to like just work hard and just get back stronger. Yeah. What's
the timetable for recovery?
It could take 6 to 9 months.
Oh, so there's a pretty big gap. So
yeah,
the 6, I'm assuming, everybody's body's different, so I guess it could be just how quickly you heal, but is a lot of it dependent upon how much effort and work you put in as to when you're going to be able to come back? Is that extra motivation?
Yeah, it does depend, because like obviously here I can do a rehab every day. So I feel like it would go faster than just doing rehab like twice a week. So I'm on a good schedule now, and I feel like I could be able to hopefully practice with the team after like 6 or 7 months. But yeah, that's my goal.
So now this is like some combination of math and I don't know. I don't even know what other course it would be, but I guess it's just math. You're applying math to some other factor. Well, what would that be? From the point you were injured, if you were able to get back at it in 6 months, when would you be back?
It would be in April.
In April, so it'd be just after the season ended, and so off-season workouts would be starting up. Okay.
Yeah, so I just hope to be able to practice with the team over the summer. And just get back in my rhythm, and then be ready for the season next year.
Now, everybody has these. We all do it. There's these cheesy little things, whether it's a meme that we put on Instagram or a scripture that's on the wall. And I shouldn't say a silly little thing, because obviously a scripture on a wall is not a silly little thing, but things that you kind of use to sort of motivate you, or others will kind of tell you, oh, well, there's a silver lining in every dark cloud, and those types of things. So I don't want to kind of belittle this experience that you're going through, but has there been any kind of those moments where you go, as much as I don't want to be out with this injury, I've learned this through it?
I've learned to trust God and trust the process, and everything happens for a reason. And I think going through this injury will make me mentally stronger and give me like time to really think about basketball. Like I really miss it, obviously. So I feel like whenever I come back, like I'm ready to play. I'm gonna be ready to practice, even if it's like conditioning and stuff. Like it's I feel like it's different than when you just keep playing basketball, and then you're like you're kind of used to it, so you just go through emotions. But like having an injury like this kind of helps you remind like that it's not normal to just be able to practice every day. Like stuff can happen. So.
Are you seeing the game any differently, being on the sideline a bit more?
Yeah, I feel like a little assistant coach.
There you go.
Yeah, it's fun too. Like obviously, I would rather be out there and help them, but I feel like I can help the team from the sideline as well.
Well, okay, so are you? And I'm trying to remember, because when I'm on, at the game, I've got the headset on, and you're focused. Like you come to a commercial break or a media timeout for you guys. Mm-hmm. I've got other things I've got to worry about, so I'm not always necessarily watching the conversations that you guys are having in the huddle.
Yeah. Because
usually the coaches kind of huddle up and the team goes in, and you guys are talking a little bit amongst yourselves before the coaches kind of dive in. Mm-hmm. And were you a talker in the past? In those situations?
I'm different this year than last year. Obviously, I have like a bigger role, I feel like, this year. So, yeah, I feel like I have to step up a little bit, which I don't mind. Like, I feel like I could do that. So, yeah, last year I think it was a little less because I was a freshman coming in and we had a lot of like seniors. But this year, yeah, I've been talking a lot more.
Was that always in your nature, or has this injury and time away from being able to play kind of cultivated that?
I feel like it was always in my nature. Yeah, I used to always be one of the talkers on the court. Yeah.
So if we go back to the summer and you're playing on the national team back in the Netherlands, that you were going to be the one that, or one of the ones that was going to be kind of, I don't want to say leading the huddle, but before the coaches come in, having those types of conversations. Because sometimes, and don't tell Coach Green I said this, but sometimes I feel like the conversations that happen in the first 15 seconds of those timeouts, when the players are kind of, whoever it is kind of jumps in, whether it was Maya last year or whoever, that sometimes more can be accomplished when the players get in each other's faces. I don't know, that sounds like a negative thing, but when you guys are having those hard conversations, it can resonate even more than when the coaches come in.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's good that we have that time to just talk to each other and give each other like tips on like stuff that we have to do better, or because coach always talks about like we should play this play next, or like we have to rebound more. But we can like really go into details and be like, oh, last play I saw that you didn't hedge or something, and you can talk about that kind of thing. So
I'm always fascinated by some of the behind the scenes type things. Of course, in that case, when you're in the arena, it's not behind the scenes anymore. Everybody in the building can see it. But those same conversations that we see a few times during the games are happening hundreds of times during the year in practice when you guys are behind closed doors. And there's like this balance between doing it in love and wanting the team to get better, and making sure that no one is taking it as you're coming at me, you're calling me out and you're singling me out. Yeah, I made a mistake, but so did she and so did she. So from your perspective, like, how do you kind of balance that? And does this team do a good job of kind of understanding that?
I think it's important to like know who you're talking to, because obviously everybody is different and would like to be approached differently. So let's say you're the type of person that needs to be screamed at when you don't understand anything. Like, I feel like your teammates should know that of you, and then they should like be like, oh, I'm talking to Emma, like she needs to be like, she likes to get screamed at, or like really talk to her like that. And then some people I feel like needs to just be like, oh, hey, you're doing a good job, but I think that you should do this better. It's just a different way, and I feel like we all understand each other a lot. Like obviously throughout the year you get to understand each other better, but I think we're doing a good job at that. Yeah.
What's your major? What are you studying?
Interior design.
Okay, I was going to say maybe there's like a psychology minor that you could kind of work into there, because it seems like you've got that philosophy down. As far as off the court, during this last few months, some other kind of cool news. And now, there would be times in the past that I would feel almost hesitant to ask certain questions because they're private things, But in the age of social media, things are out there. Like it's almost every thought that we have in our head is going to get on social media, either through our page or someone else that's going around with a camera, and and so nothing's really private anymore. It's almost impossible to keep things private. Mm-hmm. But something cool happened. Was it in the LAC or okay? Because I wasn't sure exactly where the setting was, the location. I think we were out of town with football or something that day that you guys were doing it, but. I don't want to spoil the story. I'll let you tell the story.
Okay, well, I got baptized by Coach Green in the pool in the training room, so that was really cool. Yeah.
Now, obviously, I know what precipitated the baptism in general, but kind of how did it work out the way that it did?
Well, like last year I came here and I was not very familiar with like the Christianity and everything because I didn't grow up like that. So just coming here and hearing all those stories and like going to convo and like just getting to know more about it. And I feel like the first year I was just like, okay, well, it's interesting, but I'm not really like trying to think more about it. Like I was just like, oh, I like listening to it, but I don't really like read the Bible or anything. But I think starting this year, just with everything going on, like with my injury and everything, I felt like it was hard to understand why something like that would happen to me. And I kept talking to like my teammates and like Erin, like she helps us with that. And I felt like, they kept telling me like, just pray about it, like just start reading about it. And I just got more interested in it. And I was like, okay, well, why not? Maybe it does help me. And whenever the week before my injury happened, I was like talking to Bella and Emma about it, and I told them, I was like, I feel like I want to build my relationship with God, and obviously they were very happy for me. And then something like that happens, and I was like, why would God do that whenever I'm trying to like build a relationship with him? So I'm still trying to understand that, but I feel like that was like a new start, and just like going through all of that, and God has really helped me a lot already. So
it's almost like a trust exercise. You know, I don't want to put it down to such a silly level of somebody standing on a table and falling and people catching them, but in a bigger sense, it kind of was that sort of what maybe you have taken from it a little bit? Yeah,
because obviously at first I was like if he was real, like why would he let me go through this, But then I think there are a lot of different stuff that I can learn from this, and not just a part where I can't play basketball. Like I have time more now to build my relationship with God, and I have time to think about it more and not just be focused on the season and everything. So
a lot of lessons are learned in heartache and negativity, and when bad things happen in our lives, and it's a shame that we can't learn everything right after we have a great celebration. But I guess that's just the nature of life, and the good and the bad of it. But how was your friends and your family, kind of the reaction whenever they saw the news?
Well, my friends back home, like they were not Christians either, so obviously they wanted to hear my side of the story. So whenever I explained it to them, they were very happy for me, and they were like, "Oh, that's interesting, like the way it happened too." And my parents were very happy for me as well. They saw it coming a little bit, because like obviously they know that it's a college here, so they were not surprised, but they really liked it. Yeah.
Your dad is very enthusiastic as far as following you and supporting you on social media. And I hate to keep coming back to social media, but that's kind of the thing now. Can they get ESPN back home?
Yeah, they watch the games sometimes.
So they're able to watch the games. But he's commenting and liking and hearting and everything. He's and there's a lot of parents that are very active, but I would say your dad is at the top of the list as far as being one of those. Tell us a little bit about your family, kind of your background, and we talked last year, so we kind of have a sense of how the system works in the Netherlands and the clubs and the national team, and so we've kind of followed you. As a matter of fact, speaking of social media, we were able to follow your journeys over the summertime, but I don't know if we've talked a lot about that support system that you have back home.
Well, they're very proud of me. They know that this is like what I always wanted to do. So obviously when I was 14, I moved to Amsterdam to live by myself, to like play basketball full time and go to school. And just like my parents were always like, you should do what you want. Like, I'm not going to hold you back. I'm not going to be like, oh, you should go to like a college in the Netherlands, or I want you to stay here, or nothing. Like, they always supported me through all of that. And they even visited me as well, and they came on a visit here when I came here, and I'm sure they're gonna come next year again. Yeah.
They originally were planning to come this year.
They were, yeah. But then I'm going home now. So at first I wasn't able to go home because we have like 5 days to like go home. But now, since I don't have to play, I can go home a little earlier. So they don't have to come here. And they all they wanted to see me play here, but I'm not playing, so they'll just come next year.
Delay the trip for a year.
Yep.
Siblings?
Yep. I have an older sister and an older brother.
Okay. And as a matter of fact, I think you and I were talking about this over the summer when you were playing on the national team. Your sister was there to support you some. I think she was at some of the games.
Yeah.
And I said, I know you're not, but you could be twins. Like there's how much of an age gap is there? And
it's like a year and 3 months, I think. So it's not a lot. She's 20.
A lot of similarities.
Yeah. A lot of people think we're twins, and we always joke about it too. We're always together. Like she's my best friend, and I think I miss her the most of everybody. Yeah.
Is she play sports as well?
She plays basketball, yeah, but not like at a college level. She just does it for fun, just with her friends.
Do you guys have battles in the backyard?
Well, we used to play on the same team actually when we were younger. I started playing basketball because of her, because she played and my dad used to coach her. And I was like, oh, I wanna play too. And then we played on the same team, and my dad coached both of us. And then at some point, I was like, I wanna like be better. I wanna get better. And then I started going to like a different club to practice more. And she would just stay at home.
How about your brother?
He played basketball when he was younger, but he doesn't anymore.
Okay. And what are your brother and sister's names?
My sister's name is Kato, and my brother's name is Matthijs.
Okay, for those that are trying to follow along, can you spell those?
Kato is spelled C-A-T-O.
Okay.
And Matthijs is spelled M-A-T-I-J-S.
I see. I would have mispronounced your sister's name, and I would have had no clue how to spell your brother's name.
No, it is hard. I feel like my name's the easiest one, and everybody already having a hard time with that. So
it is. I'm trying to think. As far as Americans are concerned, Emma is a very common name. Bella is a very common name right now. Are your names common names in your country?
Yeah, they are a little bit. Well, Emma is actually common in the Netherlands as well, and Sarah, and well, yeah. I feel like if you would go to the Netherlands and if you would hear their names, like every name, you'd be like, I've never heard of that before. So it's different. Is
there a meaning? Like
there's not.
No, like sometimes a name will mean, they'll say, oh, that means strong warrior or something like that.
Not that I know.
Not that you know. Okay,
No.
well, that's something that you can look into.
Yeah.
I think my name is James. Everybody calls me Jamie, but of course it's a biblical name, and so you can kind of trace that back pretty far. But some names are a little bit more modern. So if, let's say, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whenever that may be, that you have kids, do you have anything in your mind? You go, now that you've been Americanized a little bit, have you? Because we have some pretty crazy names over here.
I think that if I would have, if I think of a name, it would be like Dutch American. So like a Dutch name, but that Americans will like be able to pronounce. Because I feel like with my name, everybody's already having a hard time and everybody like says it wrong. And I just don't want my kids to have that. So I would just like an easy name that like everybody would pronounce correctly.
Well, you named a couple that would work great. Emma,
Yeah,
Sarah, those types would work really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and I've had some friends that are from Asian countries that if you see their actual name, you have no clue how to say it, or it looks like it would be something that it's not, and if you're just going off of English, and then they'll take an Americanized name, and so someone who has a 6-syllable name becomes Pam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that. What culturally have you brought to Liberty Women's Basketball that they would have never known before you got here? Something fun, something interesting?
I mean, obviously the Dutch language. I try to teach them some words. So I know Jordan. Jordan Hodges. She can count to 10 in Dutch.
Nice.
So you should ask her about that. And Emily, my roommate, she's like, whenever we go to sleep, she's like, good night, and then she says it in Dutch, and just that kind of things. Yeah.
Now, there's stereotypes of every country has stereotypes, but your country's the obvious stereotype is wooden shoes and windmills.
Yep.
Is there any legitimacy to wooden shoes and windmills?
Well, we have windmills, but I don't really think they're that like special, I guess.
They're not. You're not going to go down the
like
street
everywhere.
and see them everywhere. Right?
No.
Right.
No. And the wooden shoes is like an older tradition. So whenever you work on a farm, people would still wear it, but you wouldn't like see it out on the street or something. No.
On the farm?
On the farm, yeah.
So it's like work boots?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I always thought that the wooden shoes were elegant wear or like formal wear. You wear it at a banquet or a dance. Of course, I guess that would be tough.
Yeah, no, it's more like work shoes. Like I don't know, I don't understand it because they're not comfortable. But
it's kind of like cowboy boots aren't particularly comfortable.
Yeah.
But that's what people in that part of America worked in, and so now they've kind of become fashionable. So people will wear them just for fashion. I don't know if people are wearing wooden shoes for fashion, probably.
I don't think so, no.
Maybe Halloween, but...
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so what... And I know we're running short on time, so but I do want to ask this. Culturally, music-wise, TV-wise, is there a lot of American, British influence on television, or is it totally separate?
No, there's a lot of influence. Like we used to watch Disney and everything, but it's just like Dutch people talk, but it's like the American things you see in American actors, but then we have like voiceovers.
So it's just
so it's kind of the same thing. Yeah.
How about music? Who's the most popular artist in the Netherlands?
We have some popular DJs like Martin Garrix and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But
is Taylor Swift big? Those type of artists.
I feel like most Dutch people listen to American music more than Dutch music.
But there is some.
But there is definitely Dutch music, especially like rap music. There's a lot of Dutch music. Lil Kleine, you probably don't know who that is, but
I'd like to. I like that name. That sounds pretty cool. What's the guy that has the big orchestra and once a year they have like a festival and they close this I don't know if it's in Amsterdam. I don't know where it is, but there's just 100,000 people maybe there, and he'll have guest singers, and I think he plays the violin maybe, and he's Dutch.
Is it like a festival or something?
Well, yeah, but I think it's mainly just because this guy is so. It's Andre.
Oh, I heard of that before. I'm
Ruiz,
not really
maybe or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know his. I don't know his name. I definitely heard of that before. I've never been there. I'm not really like the type to like the classical music really.
Paul Carmody, his brother Joe, is a big fan of we'll just call him Andre, like we know him really well. 'Cause I can't remember his last name. I think it's Ruiz or something like that. But he's seen him in concert here.
Oh, really?
And so they'll pack out a 20,000 seat arena or something like that, and then they'll have other guests that kind of come in. And I feel like one of the more famous videos that the guy did was with the people that did the Macarena.
Oh, really?
So it's like this full orchestra,
oh, wow.
and then
I've never heard of that.
You have to look that up. I think that's on YouTube. So, okay, well that's kind of a cool. And I'm sure we'll turn the mics off, and I'll think of 5 other things that I go, I should have asked about this, because I'm so fascinated about kind of the just different cultures around the world. But is there anything that if I was saying, okay, you're writing your autobiography, the Pien story, is there anything that I didn't ask you about, anything that we've not talked about that you go, that's got to be in there?
Not that I can think of. No.
If we go to if the team took a trip to the Netherlands,
yes, please, I would love that.
Where would you take them?
I would take them to my house, obviously. I would take them to just Amsterdam, just the city.
Where would we eat?
Ooh.
That's my favorite question.
It's called Het Vosje. It's a place where I live in my small town, and it's all this Dutch food, and it's so good.
What's Dutch food? Like, what stands out with Dutch food?
It's like nothing compared to here, so I can't really understand it. Like, I can't really explain it.
Is it boiled? Is it fried?
It's fried. Fried food. And you eat it with, like, French fries. But then the French fries are also different in the Netherlands, so it's really good.
Are there any Dutch restaurants in the United States that you've gone to that you go, this is comparable?
No.
No?
No.
If you find one, let me know, because I'd love to try it.
Yeah,
just to be able to kind of, it's kind of, my family's I've got a lot of family from Germany, and so I'll be honest, I've never really found a lot of the German food that I like a whole lot, but there are some authentic German restaurants that you can go, well, if you want true German food, go here. It's usually in big cities. It's usually not going to be in small places like Lynchburg. But compare your hometown to Lynchburg.
A lot of bikes, a lot of like I know almost everybody. It's a lot smaller than Lynchburg too.
A lot smaller?
Yeah, it's very small.
Okay.
Like you can go from one side of town to the other side in like 10-minute bike ride.
Wow. So it's like campus almost.
No, it's a little bigger than campus. Yeah, it's bigger than campus, but it's very, I love it there. Yeah, it's like everybody knows each other, and yeah.